Why does it feel like everyone's rooting for it to be 2008 again? There's an undercurrent out there.
Rooting for it. That's an interesting.
There's an undercurrent
phrasing.
out there of people that seemingly want this to be a bigger crisis than it is. And I don't know why. You look at what this is, okay? And again, you could say this is a canary in the coal mine, this, that, and whatever.
Sure.
2008 was, hey, banks owned a bunch of bad debt that was worthless.
Yes.
It was mortgage-backed securities and collateralized debt obligations that weren't worth the money they were printed on or the electricity needed to view them on a computer screen. There's a bunch of stuff that people were never going to pay back.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, we have banks. Silicon Valley Bank, let's take as an example. They had U.S. Treasuries as collateral. That admittedly, the value went down.
Yep.
And they tried to do a capital raise, which, again, if a bank can never do a capital raise again, then we've got a problem. If the second a bank tries to raise capital, people panic and pull all their money out, you've got a problem here.
Yeah.
But all these freaking VCs...
No.
No, Mike. They pulled 25% of the deposits out of the bank in a day.
Yes, they did.
There is no bank in the world that can survive that.
You're right. But shame on you, Silicon Valley Bank, for deciding to consciously become concentrated in all your customers that have one thing in common.
But Mike, these are VCs.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley Bank said we're raising capital. And instead of the VCs saying, yeah, we've got capital, it's built into our name, we're venture capitalists, man. Instead they said, oh, we're getting out. We're going out the door.
Yep.
That's why this happened.
Yes.
Okay? They created the run on the bank. If any bank in the country had 25% of its deposits walk out the door in any
they'd all
day,
fail.
they're all under.
But what I don't like hearing over and over again, so The Atlantic published an article that the reason SVB failed was because of COVID-19. Everybody else is blaming the Fed. Everybody else is blaming
the bank managed their
VCs.
risk horribly.
Yeah, it's the bank's fault.
It's the bank's fault. In order, it is the bank's fault. Then it's the VC's fault for just being freaking vultures in this case. Okay. Then I put the San Francisco branch of the Fed, and there should be some people that lose their jobs over this there as well.
Yep.
And then you got Jay Powell who's fighting in Jay Powell doesn't care about this because it doesn't.
It's not his job. Yeah.
People below him are supposed to handle this. Mm-hmm. So it bothers me to no end that it seems like people want to make this into, all the banks are insolvent. It's like, no, as long as everyone doesn't pull 25% of their money out of the bank in one day, they're not. If you pulled 25% out a year and a half ago, okay, when interest rates were still lower,
it would still kill the bank.
It would still kill the bank.
Yeah.
So it just bothers me that people are trying to make this into something it isn't right now. Maybe it develops into a different problem down the road, but this is not 2008. It's a fundamentally different situation, and it bothers me when people like Elon freaking Musk with 200 million followers on Twitter is tweeting out that the banks are melting.
Yeah, that bothers me too. There's a bit of a burn it down mentality everywhere right now.
Like, Elon's tweeting out that the banks are melting, but he has no problem shilling freaking Dogecoin.